92% of high-achieving adults report feeling uncomfortable doing nothing, not because they are lazy, not because they don't know how to rest, but because somewhere along the way, stillness started to feel like a crime. Most people scroll through that statistic and keep moving, but you stopped. Because you already know exactly what that number means. You've lived inside it. You know the feeling. The moment you sit down, something shifts. Your body exhales, but your mind doesn't follow. Instead, a quiet prosecutor appears, listing everything you should be doing, everything left unfinished, every person who might be working harder than you right now. You close your eyes for 10 minutes and open them feeling guilty, not rested. You take a weekend off and spend the whole time mentally rehearsing the week ahead. Rest, for you, has never quite been permission. It has always felt like debt. But you weren't always like this. There was a version of you, younger, lighter, who could play without a purpose, who could lie in the grass and watch clouds without a single thought about productivity. You didn't used to need a reason to stop. Stopping simply was. Think back to that child. Not the overachiever, not the responsible one, the one who existed without an agenda. That child is still inside you, and what happened to them is the story nobody has ever told you clearly enough. At some point, the world around you started sending a very specific message, not with words necessarily. Maybe it was a parent who praised you only when you achieved something. Maybe it was a home where love felt conditional on performance, where busy meant worthy and still meant selfish. Maybe it was subtler, a family where everyone moved fast, worked hard, sacrificed always, and rest was something you earned only after everything else was done. So you learned. You became fluent in a language called productivity, and slowly rest began to feel like a foreign country you had no visa for. Here's where the science enters, and this part matters because what you're experiencing has a name and it lives in your nervous system, not your character. Researcher and clinical psychologist Dr. Kristen Neff, whose work on self-compassion has been cited in over 3,000 peer-reviewed studies, identifies what you might be feeling as internalized conditional worth, the deeply embedded belief that your value as a person is directly tied to your output. When you rest, you are, in the architecture of your nervous system, temporarily removing the thing that makes you feel safe, your productivity. Your brain doesn't read rest as recovery, it reads it as exposure, and so it fires an alarm. This connects directly to what neuroscientist Stephen Porges mapped through polyvagal theory. Your nervous system has a built-in threat detection system, and for some people, especially those who grew up in emotionally unpredictable environments, stillness itself becomes associated with danger. Not because rest is dangerous, but because for a child who needed to stay alert, stay useful, stay ahead of the next wave of tension, slowing down meant losing control. Your body learned to equate doing with safety, and that lesson didn't expire when you became an adult. It's not a flaw. It's a blueprint your younger self drew to survive. When you were small and the world around you rewarded output or punished the absence of it, your developing brain did the most intelligent thing it could. It fused your identity to your activity. Rest didn't just feel lazy, it felt dangerous. It felt like the moment something could go wrong, the moment you would be found out, the moment you would lose whatever fragile security you had built. That child was not overreacting. That child was reading the room perfectly. The problem is, you're still reading a room that no longer exists. But here's the part this narrative often skips, and skipping it would be dishonest. The cost of this pattern is real. According to a 2022 study published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology, chronic guilt around rest is one of the leading predictors of burnout in high-functioning individuals. Not overwork alone, but the inability to psychologically detach from work during downtime. The CDC reports that adults who cannot mentally disengage during rest periods are 2.6 times more likely to experience anxiety disorders over a 5-year period. The guilt is not neutral. Left unchallenged, it becomes a slow erosion of creativity, of presence, of the very performance you are working so hard to protect. And yet, and this is the turn you've been waiting for, research from the University of California, Berkeley, published in the journal Psychological Science, found that individuals who experience guilt around rest are, counterintuitively, among the most conscientious and deeply motivated people in any social group. Your guilt is not a sign of dysfunction. It is a misfired signal from a system that cares profoundly. The same wiring that makes rest feel impossible is the same wiring that makes you reliable, thorough, and genuinely invested in the things you do. The sensitivity that punishes you in stillness is the same sensitivity that makes you exceptional in motion. Nobody tells you that, but it's true, and the data supports it. So here is a new word for what you are. Society calls you a workaholic. Your inner critic calls you lazy when you've stopped and driven when you don't. Neither of those is accurate. The real term, one used in positive psychology, is conscientious recoverer, someone whose depth of commitment is so genuine that even recovery gets filtered through the same lens of care. You don't struggle to rest because you're flawed. You struggle because you care too much to fully believe you've done enough. That is not a weakness. That is a very specific kind of love for the life you are building. To the part of you still reading this with one eye on the to-do list, there is nothing wrong with you. The guilt you feel when you rest is not a moral failing. It is a learned response, and learned responses, given the right conditions, can be unlearned. Start small. Not with a vacation, not with a meditation retreat. Start with one afternoon where you let rest be the work, where you tell yourself without negotiating that recovery isn't the pause before the next thing, it is the next thing. You are not behind, you are not losing ground. You are, finally, doing exactly what you need. Let that be enough. Drop a comment below telling us what rest feels like for you. Rest is not a reward.